Hello, my name is Mantore79, and today I'm going to be showing you one of my deck profiles for the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. In this video, the one I'm doing one for is for the V Standard format Kagero clan's Dragonic Overlord The Turnabout. Alright, let's get started. First off, the starting unit. The starting unit in this deck is Grade Zero's Lizard Soldier Conroe. Like any other starting unit in the V Standard format, he features only two skills. 1. When ridden on top of, you get to draw a card. And 2. If you're the second to go in the game, you get to add a quick shield from your G-Zone straight to your hand. Alright, next. The Grade 1 lineup. The Grade 1s I'm using in this deck are 3. Sabo Dragonics, 4. Flame of Hope Airmos, 4. Lava Flow Dragons, and 2 Purple Gem Carbuncles. As for my reasons for choosing these cards specifically, well, first off, Sabo Dragonu, a good card to have when you're attacking first, since as your Vanguard, when his attack hits, you get to draw a card, and his rearguard skill. In the late game or mid game, he's pretty useful, since when you retire an opponent's rearguard, you get to retreat him from your own rearguard and draw an extra card, so he's good for restoring your hand when you pay hand costs. Next, Flame of Hope Airmo. In my opinion, he's a must-have in any V Standard Kagero deck, since, as some of you and many of you may know, he's one of the few cards in the Kagero V Standard format that lets you countercharge. You retire an opponent's rearguard, retreating from your own rearguard, you countercharge 1. It's not much, but it's all you've got, so yeah, he's a must-have. Next, Lava Flow Dragon. Like Airmo, in my opinion, he's a must-have in Kageros, since when you ride or call him, he gets to let you check the top 5 of your deck and add a grade 3. So it'll make it easier for you to get the specific grade 3 you want to ride later in the game. Not to mention he has a continuous skill. During your turn, if you have more rear guards, he gets plus 5,000 power, so he can also help you for attacking and boosting. And then, Purple Gem Carbuncle. Despite having only 5,000 power, he's a pretty good card to have, since when your Vanguard stands in the battle phase, he'll let you get an extra 20k power when he's boosting. So he's not a must-have or necessary, but helpful to have. Yeah, that's the word, helpful. Alright, next, let me show you the grade 2s in this deck. The grade 2 lineup in this deck I'm using is 3 Burnrise Dragons, 4 Dragonic Neoflames, and 4 Burning Horn Dragon. Burnrise Dragon is a pretty good card to have. When your Vanguard stands by the effect of its skill, you get to counterblast 1, discard 1 from your hand, and this guy gets plus 15,000 power and plus 1 critical. Not a necessary card for an Overlord strategy, but he's good for filling out your front row with high attack power. Dragonic Neoflame. On his own, well, he can't do anything much on his own, but he can only work well with Dragonic Overlord the Great, so I'll save explaining him when I show you my grade 3 lineup. And now, Burning Horn Dragon. He's a pretty good card to have since his skill lets you Soul Blast 1 and retire an opponent's rearguard when you discard him from your hand, and as you know, all the V Standard Overlords, they require you to discard a card from your hand to stand, so this guy will be good fodder when you want to retire an opponent's rearguard and combo him with either Flame of Hope Airmo or Sabo Dragonio, since you can use their skills along with Burning Horn to restock your hand. Alright, next, the grade 3 lineup. The grade 3s in this deck are 4 Dragonic Overlord The Turnabouts, 3 Dragonic Overlord the Greats, and 2 Dragonic Overlords, or as I like to call him, Dragonic Overlord the Classic. Alright, first off, the main card of this deck, Dragonic Overlord The Turnabout. After attacking, you can just pay a cost, counterblast 1 and discard a card, You can stand him and all other Dragonic Overlords in your front row rear guard. And if your opponent is a grade 3, all the standing units get plus 10,000 power. So whether you're going first or second, you're guaranteed to stand your Vanguard and any Overlords you have in the front row. So you can get a good chain of attacks going. So next, Dragonic Overlord the Great. He's mainly a support card for the front row to be used with the Turnabout. On his own, well, he can't do much unless you have Dragonic Neoflame. Dragonic Neoflame skill. When the Dragonic Overlord the Great attacks, he gets plus 5,000 power, and you can counterblast 2 and give him an extra plus 1 critical during that battle. And well, that's why I included the Neoflame and the Great, since there's no restriction saying that the Great only has to be in the Vanguard. So if you can add a couple of Neoflames into your rear guard, when the Great attacks, you can stack power and critical as long as you can pay the costs for the critical. So yeah, that's why he's a good card to have when you chain him together with the Turnabout. And the Classic. Not a must-have like the Turnabout and the Great. Like Purple Gem Carbuncle, he's mainly helpful in the most sense, since on the main phase you can Soul Blast 1 and give him 10,000 power for till the end of the turn. So he'll have extra power when you restand him with the Turnabout skill. So yep, so those are the grade 3s, and it's pretty good. Next, the trigger units of this deck. My triggers are 4 Angry Horn Dragons, critical triggers, 2 Tars, 2 critical triggers, and 2 Crit Sentinels, Dragon Knight Janot. That's 8 criticals in total. Then the draw triggers, 2 Draw Sentinels, Wyvern Guard Beret, and 2 ordinary draw triggers, Toxic Firelight Dragon. Total, that's 4 draw triggers. And then the heal triggers. For the heal triggers in this deck, I'm using the Heal Guardian, Dragon Dancer, Nastasha. For those of us who don't know the skills for this girl, well, her skills are when when placed in a Guardian circle before you ride to grade 3, you can choose one of her abilities. You can either give your Vanguard plus 10,000 power till the end of the turn, and you can also choose to minus your opponent's attacking unit by 2 criticals. So she's mainly a defensive unit to keep your opponent from rushing you early. And she also has another ability when you call her to the rear guard. If you have no cards in the damage zone, you can place 1 card in the top of the deck to the damage zone face up. So basically that skill lets you finally stop your opponents from damage denying you. Well, damage denial, as some of you may know, it's when your opponent prevents you from getting any counterblast by not attacking your Vanguard. So we finally have a card that lets you stop that annoying strategy. Alright, so the trigger lineup in this deck is 8 critical triggers, 4 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. A pretty standard build. And so, yeah, that's the entire deck. So I hope you guys got some, good tips, or perhaps like to try my deck profile if you think it's pretty good. So yeah, so that's it. So thanks again for watching, and hope you stay tuned for when I put up more videos. And yeah, so thanks. Bye.